Okay, dear Venerable Brother, Dhamma friends, we have come to the second question and answer session. So we have received a couple of questions. And Rishika, right? Sharini, okay. Sharini is ready with written questions and we will start with written questions.
Avasarai Bhante, meditation and other experiences, total 5 questions, right. And Dhamma 1 question. Most respected Bhante, I worship Bhante and kindly request permission to share a few meditation experiences on this retreat. After a few days, I was able to get a very good peaceful and calm state in mind, and sometimes I was able to experience an empty, silent mind too. I did not get any distraction after talking with others, and most of the time I had some sort of ability to stop inner chatter. Therefore, I enjoy talking and helping others, and I am not such an introverted person. However, I understood that some thoughts and just popping up without my intention, and I did not take this as seriously. Today, I was able to have lunch, dana with very minor thoughts, and sometimes I felt that my mind was in an open space. However, based on my past experience, I understood that some sort of problem is arising in my mind, and when my practices and getting smooth or improved. But every day I am learning a lot from mistakes and understandably the true nature of the mind. However, sometimes I feel that still I am not seriously identifying the sansaric fear and just doing the meditation based on my past habit. Bhante, I pay my greater gratitude and wish your valuable advice.
Yeah. So basically, sometimes we have some other aspects we can talk with respect to this kind of a report. So when we gain some experience, sometimes we seems to be all right, and we know how to handle the thoughts, how to handle the defilements, and in general the mind is somewhat calm, less distractions, and it can lead to some sort of a lethargic kind of a practice then, because we think, okay, I'm done. Okay, we think that there is no need of having such an urgency, because I am now somewhat all right, so the mind is also calm, quiet, and free from proliferation, and seems to be everything going well. And as a result of that, we seems to might get a kind of a feeling, I'm feeling comfortable, and therefore nothing much to do. It's a matter of just going ahead. So that is also true. So if we get into the old habit of striving and driving you and doing this and that, so that is also not the correct thing. So how to balance it? So that's a kind of a challenge we all have. So say for example, Buddha sometimes didn't want to mention the attainments that the monks were having, because if Buddha say, okay, now you are a Sotapanna, now you are a Sakadagami, because then they have a tendency, okay, now I am free from apaya and all that, so nothing much to worry, and so they might engage with various other activities, neglecting the continuity of the path. So therefore he purposely avoided telling any kind of an attainments to the monks. But later, as the sasana is growing, many people come into the picture, and they keep on coming and asking various attainment-related questions, and Buddha had to give certain criteria. Okay, this is the way you yourself can verify where you are, so don't come and disturb me. So this kind of a thing also has happened. But most of the time, during his first Buddha Sasana, in the first 20 years, he didn't have to mention any of this, because the practitioners are so eager, so kind of oriented towards attaining Nibbana and doing the best, and they accomplish the Arahanthood. Before that, there is no satisfaction for trivial other kind of a benefit or any other kind of an attainment. So therefore, it is true that most of you are already into the practice for a long time, and you also are experiencing some kind of a benefit and some sort of a lightness of the mind, happiness of the mind, calmness of the mind. Those are real benefits. But it doesn't mean we are all done, including myself. So that's why even yesterday I have to sort of reflect. I have to sort of warn the Buddha's advice. I'll take it during the Dhamma sermon also. So how he is warning the monks, even though they have samadhi, even though they have very good sila, even though they are really good renunciants and good kind of a samadhi is also there, all the requisites are also being available. Don't feel contented because still your asavas are available, anusayas are available, latent tendencies are still available. So till we are completely free from asava and anusaya, so we can't say we are done. We can't say katakaraniyo. Katakaraniyo is only the arahant. So therefore, having some kind of a remark in your mind, okay, even though I am engaging in so many other things, okay, I have to attend to my practice. I have to look after my practice. Even though I have a lot of other commitments, lot of other, say, activities, obligations, still I have to look after my practice. That becomes my own responsibility. So likewise, that kind of an attitude is something that Buddha expects from all the practitioners who are, to some extent, has gone to some far. At the beginning, definitely we have to strive. In the beginning, we have to drive ourselves because it's very much like breaking off the initial rust kind of a thing. So there we have to put a lot of effort. But once you are able to sort of land on an area where less defilements now, and the mind also, you know how to maintain an unattached state of mind, and you can calm down yourself without much hassle, without much trouble. So that once we arrive there, now we have to get into the mode of being. That is also we need to understand. We can't simply continuously drive ourselves or strive. Rather, now we need to switch to the stage of, okay, now just be, just continue anyway, but in a more flexible way, in a different way. Not driven by the egoistic kind of an achievement, rather recognizing how the ego being developed or ego being again come to the force, come to the front, how a self-view can come to the front, you recognizing it and abandoning it, disclaiming it. So likewise continuing. But continuity has to be something that we need to pay attention. And one thing I couldn't understand is here you are mentioning that I have some trouble with the mind, or I have some worry about the mind, some question about the mind. That I didn't understand. What is the question you are mentioning here?
Avasarai Bhante?
Yeah.
Actually, I think my report is not clearly understood by Bhante, because I want to tell not Katakaraniya. No, I want to say that when I am practicing and getting some improvements,
right,
again I am going some trouble,
getting some trouble
from my mind.
Right. So from your mind,
yeah,
I saw that's some external trouble.
Because of some reason, some reason. Again, my mind is getting.
So that still we need to correct ourselves.
That's why I am saying.
Yeah.
That is my fault.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I am saying I am not serious about sansaric fear. Because of that, I am just taking that things as trouble.
No, I can't say that you are not seeing the sansaric fear, but still we are unable to handle this little bit of restlessness in the mind. Still certain amount of restlessness is there in the mind. Little bit of agitation is still available in the mind, even though we are able to calm down the mind. but still little things still bug you, still little things still disturb you.
Yeah, that's why I thought, Bhante, if I am serious, then I should be able to tackle that one also.
No, not being serious, rather it's kind of a continuity. Continuity will give you the results. I mean, being serious. So, what's the difference that you are expecting?
No,
what do you mean by being serious?
Bhante, I mean, most of the time I feel I am doing these things based on my past habit. And that's why I am saying, based on my past habit, now also I am continuing. And that is the way I am doing without thinking a lot. That's why I thought if I have a serious feeling on this sansaric journey, I should be able to do
more. So what you need to do more?
More means without agitating from others' activities.
Without getting agitated by others' activities. That you have to do now.
Yeah, that's why I am saying one thing. Why I am not doing is the problem to me.
No, that's the thing. I mean, being so serious also I feel not the path, because sometimes we need the kind of a happiness in the joy in the path. Because even yesterday that's what I felt to mention, okay, we have to be positive, we have to be happy, we have to be with a smile. So that would be more appropriate than more serious and with a gloomy, very kind of a mood.
Not in that way serious, I am telling. I without laughing I can't stay.
Yeah.
I am saying from my mind I should be serious than this.
I don't know. I think what's happening is what's happening right now is quite okay, because within a within a short period of time you have achieved something. Because I know where you were, and within maybe 1 year or 2 years, you have come a considerable journey, and now it's a matter of further reinforcing it. So we can't immediately expedite the process. So if we are trying sometimes intentionally to expedite the process, sometimes we mess up the whole thing. So it has happened to me sometimes, because we sometimes become over enthusiastic and we want to get out everything, and I want to practice, don't disturb me. But the practice requires certain amount of disturbance also when we come to a certain level. That help us to understand what are the still available defilements, because complete avoidance or complete escape does not give us enough opportunities to verify ourselves, isn't it? So that's why the association with others, being in a monastery or being with a company with others, have that vulnerability. So they don't know what are we doing, and they behave the way they want, and how we being affected, isn't it? So we being a practitioner, we have to take all the opportunities in favor of our practice, isn't it? So that should be our skill. Someone may be talking, someone may be praising, someone may be blaming, and we go through a lot of ups and downs of the life because that's the way of the life. So all these different opportunities, how are we going to properly use for the development of our practice? So I feel that is the best skill that we can have. You know that the Buddha is talking about the sakko. Sakko, ujuja, sujuja. You remember sakko? Sakko means skillful. So skillful, I feel this is the particular area. So how he is handling all these different opportunities in favor of the development of his practice. So therefore I feel not by mere determination has to be there, definitely, that I am not giving up till my goal is achieved. So that should be a kind of a long-term task that I have to do. We are never giving up. So that is Buddha encouraged. Anikkita dhuro kusalesu dhammesu. That is how he mentioned. Anikkita dhuro kusalesu dhammesu. So you have a kind of a determination to fulfill, to complete certain wholesome qualities. So I am not going to give up without achieving it. So that kind of a firm determination is a must. That will be there. That's why we are continuing even here at Kalalgoda. That's why you all are coming here. And so while you are looking at that angle and how the mind is operating, how the mind is reacting, depending on the circumstances coming from different opportunities, different instances, different activities, that all we have to manage daily basis, isn't it? One day there may be praise coming, one day another day there may be blames coming, criticisms coming. All that are included in the practice, isn't it? All are in the practice. We can't say this only the praise is in the practice and the criticism is not in the practice, but both are in the practice. So when someone is criticizing, how the ego is coming out, how you feel hurt. So why are we feeling hurt, isn't it? And when someone is praising, why I feel uplifted. So who is there to be really happy and uplifted? So that all indicates certain kind of a egocentric thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, Bhante, I can understand those things. Then what is the next step?
No, the thing is, next step, there is no as such next step, but it's a matter of continuing the same thing. And more the we encounter such different possibilities, different opportunities, how we react become more and more very much aligned with the baseline. Now, as we discussed even yesterday, say our life give us different opportunities, okay, ups and downs. We can say the vicissitudes of the life, 8 kind of vicissitudes, right? Praise, blame, gain, loss, happiness, suffering, fame and ill fame. So these are the Atalodahamana. And previous occasions, when these things are being offered to us, we being oscillated in a very higher amplitude. And it took long time for us to calm down, to come to the middle and to settle. Same thing will be happening even now. So how long are you taking to settle? So that is the difference that we can measure. It is not that we have to change the practice. There is no any kind of a change, a kind of a radical change that we have to do right now. But it's a matter of continuing and measure how we can assess ourselves is that how long are we getting to calm down, to become normal. Or we are even not being moved when these circumstances are there, we are able to maintain without much disturbance. So that indicates the stability of the mind. Previously assumed that we oscillated up, but was able to calm down and relax, and after a while, after a day, say you being settled. But now maybe within half a day you are settled. Within 2 hours now you are settled. Within 1 hour you are settled. Within 10 minutes you are settled. Within a minute you are settled. So that indicates the maturity. So that is how we have to assess the progress and how much of proliferation is there in the mind. So are we experiencing more inner silence in a way? Less proliferation. That's another indicator that we can assess the progress. And on the other hand, less eye-making, less mind-making. So when instances are there for me to show off, for me to come out and to represent as an individual, you may be doing it depending on the purpose, but knowingly, properly, and you know how that there is no such thing, but you are again coming back. So very much like, I think, so these are the opportunities. Those may come depending on the circumstances, and we have to face it, we have to go through it. So other than that, I can't see any kind of a complete difference in the way of practice. Now, if I were to refer certain suttas, now certain suttas like Sila Sutta, so they are, for example, when I think Venerable Kottita, he is asking from Venerable Sariputta, when someone becomes a Sotapanna, so Sila Sampanna, Silavanta, That means he's based on proper good conduct, morality, and when someone is Sila Sampanna, and what next he has to do. Panchupadana Kanda Samudaya Vaya. So you have to practice further so the defilements will be abandoned. Then he is asking, okay, what has to be done by a Sotapanna? What? Same thing. So then he is asking, what has to be done by a Sakadagami? Same thing. What has to be done by an Anagami? Same thing. So therefore there is no any difference in the type of the practice that the trainee is doing, a Sotapanna is doing, Sakadagami is doing, Anagami is doing. The same practice actually. The same practice they have to repeat, practice-wise. But the way they are handling, how quickly, how precisely, how sharp they are handling, it depends on their faculties. So if their faculties are very sharp, very quickly can understood, quickly the defilements are abandoned, he will be settled immediately. But on the other hand, there may be instance that your mindfulness is less and you need some time to establish mindfulness, and your concentration is less, you may take some time to establish concentration. As a result of that, you may take some time to develop wisdom. So that means, depending on the situation, you took fair amount of time for you to settle. But as you progress, so that time become less and less because the faculties are pretty sharp. So therefore, I feel the same practice we have to continue, and internally we have to feel less suffering on the other hand, because defilements are causing fair amount of suffering. For example, say the restlessness in our mind, say the agitation we might get because of certain situation, and maybe the sleepless nights, how long we can't sleep because the agitation is there in the mind. So that all represents some kind of a defilement, isn't it? We know now less defilements are there, less proliferation is there, but still I can't sleep. Why? Still some agitation, some kind of an agitation is there, some burning. So some correction needs to be done, because Buddha claims, okay, I am the one having a very good sleep. Buddha saying. So he very beautiful. This Dhamma is really beautiful. When someone was asking, why you, Master, you are sleeping? Buddha say, yeah, why not? I am a person having a really good sleep. Nothing to disturb me. Isn't it? I mean, when no defilements are there, and during the night, nothing to disturb. When you want, you can sleep. Done. But for us, for me, my goodness, very difficult. I mean, everything has to be well settled. I mean, no sound, no inner agitation, and the climate, everything settled, then only I can sleep. Even someone simply roams, droning on next adjacent door, I can't sleep. Poor me. So, I mean, all are representing some kind of inner agitation. So, that's what we need to understand. We have to be very honest, humble. Even though we have done some amount of practice, still something is, and some disturbances are there. So, some friction is still there in the mind. So, those also have to abandon. It will take time. You can't push.
Much merit, Bhante. Thiruvan Saranai.
Question number 2. Venerable Bhante, my mind was very much calmer than yesterday. Walking meditation. I focused on the movement for a while and then focused on the contact with the ground. The demarcation was clear and I could stay focused longer. I was aware of the leg muscles as well, especially when they got tired. I had a feeling of experiencing the movement and contact rather than observing it. Is this okay? I had a feeling of experiencing the movement and contact rather than observing it. Is this okay?
Now, by the way, how do you know the contact is there, the movement is there without observing it? Isn't it? I mean, if you know that right now the leg is moving, that means the knowing part is available. You know exactly now the foot is touching the ground. Now the contact has happened. If you know that, that means you have observed it. So what else are you expecting as the observation? Isn't it? So we think sometimes observation is completely very, intense kind of an observation. No. Observation has to be very well balanced. So you may do the observation in a more smooth way rather than very purposeful and too much attentive kind of a way. So that also can create a little bit of friction into the mind. So therefore, proper exertion of effort is something necessary. You know that, for example, when we are talking of the enlightenment factors, Bojjhanga, Buddha talks about the Satisambojjhanga, mindfulness. So when the mindfulness is properly available, and then you can get into the Dhammavicaya. You are investigating. But during this investigation, sometimes we put too much effort, for example. Then this process doesn't happen properly, and you won't get piti, passaddhi, not there. Because you are too much hard, really exerting too much effort. So you won't get the piti and passaddhi. But for piti and passaddhi to happen, you are now balancing the effort. So you are smoothly observing. You know the mind is also not distracted. Mind is there. Observation is also there. Now, not that you doing it, like rather mind is doing it by itself. Now the piti is happening. Now the passaddhi is happening. So therefore, the statement what you are trying to say, I feel you misunderstood. You think that the observation has to be very strenuous kind of an observation. But I feel it should not be. I feel it has to be a well-balanced observation where you don't feel tired. Assume that you are practicing this kind of a thing for 1 hour, continuous observation. In this way, I don't think that you would feel much tired, because things are there, you know, now it is up, now it is down, now it is touching, all the contacts is there. You are fully aware each and every part. Observation has happened. May I know who has written it? Yeah. What do you think? Can you come forward? Yeah.
Avasaraya Bhante, when I say observe, it's like I had to put more effort.
That's the thing.
And I'm willfully focusing. But when I say I'm experiencing, it's like I'm just relaxed and I see what I feel. So
see what I feel.
What I feel.
Right.
So I'm not looking at something specific. So I could differentiate between the movement and the contact. So if I think, okay, I will look at the contact, then the mind kind of settles into the contact. And I feel it's like more experiencing. And I'm like there,
right,
inside the foot.
So you are not distracted, by the way?
No.
Okay, you are not distracted, you are experiencing fully.
Yes, it's...
Isn't it? Is it wrong?
No, that's correct. I think it's like the way I can explain it is, I'm in the foot.
You are in the foot.
I'm in the foot. I'm there.
Right.
Whereas what I mean by observing is I'm like outside and I'm seeing what's happening. So I don't know which is
No,
better.
I feel it will happen. It will naturally happen. So the perspective you are talking, that I am kind of separate, the body is now walking and I am little distant and the observation is happening. You will come to that. So you will come to that naturally. You can't immediately get that distance. So you have kind of a coupled with this experience and you are maintaining little bit of a close examination, but now not with excessive effort. No excess effort. You are maintaining a fair amount of balanced effort now. That very observation will slowly maintain or develop this separation, kind of distancing. So let the practice to take care of that. We can't forcefully develop that distance. Rather, practice will slowly develop that distancing. Interesting. We are talking very subtle points. Very interesting, by the way. Good. Some more things? Yeah.
Sitting meditation. I'm trying to develop the practice without focusing on the breath. I focused on various sounds and occasionally a smell. However, when there was nothing else, my mind became aware of the breath. I tried to focus on the seat and the contact points, but this was not successful. Please give some guidance to develop the sitting meditation.
So, previously how you were doing it?
Bhante, I was focusing totally on the breath, and you advised me last time to stay away from sitting meditation, or if I am doing sitting, not to focus on the breath so much. So that's why
you had the kind of a problem that you are going to a type of a samadhi.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm trying to develop this sitting meditation because I can't be walking for so long.
Right. So once you sit, are you experiencing any sensations in your body?
I didn't notice anything. I can feel the contact of the seat, and maybe if there's some wind.
Right.
So when I try to stay off the breath. So when there is a noise and a bird or a vehicle, yes, that. So I
that,
look
that kind of outside matters. Outside phenomena, you can be fully aware.
Yes.
Right.
But when there is nothing very prominent.
Right.
Then I am naturally aware of my breath.
Okay. So was it taken you to a deeper samadhi, or you are fully aware of only the breathing?
Yes, I didn't do for too long anyway, because I don't know whether this is the correct way to go. So is it okay, if the mind returns to the breath, is that all right?
Okay, but if the problem last time we discussed was that after a little while, so immediately you are jump into a samadhi and stay there almost like unconscious, that is what we need to avoid. So now if it has completely erased from the mind, then no harm. But if the symptoms are still there, again you are being taken to that samadhi, then better avoid. So that's what I want to, rather than paying for the anapanasati, so you can stay with the body sensations. Different sensations are there, you are looking at each and every one of them. So then throughout the body it becomes a kind of an experiment, a very good observation, and that would be much productive for the development of the wisdom. Not the concentration, but now the wisdom is the most important thing. So therefore, even the touching points are okay. So you pay attention to the touching points and see what's happening there. And say even you can look at the thoughts. If there are thoughts, let them come and behave the way they want. But you need to step out and watch it. And then also you can learn how thoughts are coming and how they are, try to tempt you, and then they naturally disappear. All that comes under your observation. So even that area you can continue, so that those all actually productive for the wisdom side. Yeah.
Third question, walking meditation. I noticed that with each step I was observing sensations. There is a word I have never seen before, so maybe the yogi can explain. I noticed that with each step I was observing sensations up until the knee joint of each leg. This happened unintentionally. Should I start concentrating only on the foot to relive the practice, or observation, or just continue as it is?
You can pass the mic, we'll see.
No.
That's on my mind. No, this is a different one.
That's not yours?
I
thought that you start cuddling. I mean, no cuddle?
Shall I read out the question?
Sure, yeah.
Most Venerable Bhante, walking meditation. I noticed that with each step I was observing sensation, proprioception up until the knee joint of each leg. This happened unintentionally. Should I start concentrating only on the foot to refine the practice observation, or just continue as it is? I also noticed at some point during walking meditation I felt I was being propelled forward.
Sorry, last statement?
I also noticed at some point during walking meditation I felt I was being propelled forward.
Propelled forward?
Propelled.
Propelled forward?
Yes.
Why is that happening? So before that, what were you experiencing?
Like on my own, I was doing the walking meditation one day, and then like it was like spontaneously the foot was being not someone like pushing, but like I was being propelled like forward.
Is it happening in sitting also? No. Okay. So do you experience complete absence of phenomena before this happened?
Complete absence in the sense?
Means now, say for example, you are observing different phenomena for a while, and then all disappear, nothing much for you to observe, and then immediately this, whatever you are telling is propelled experience, what?
Propelled as in
propelled.
When they like pushed forward.
Pushed by someone, like something. It could be a kind of a jerk, kind of a thing can happen when you are stepping into you were with some rough phenomena and all that are gone, but now nothing is there. So now body can't maintain the balance because the phenomena is not much available. So such thing can happen. But otherwise, very unlikely that to be happen. So that's what I want to verify, whether before this happened, what were you doing? Mostly that you are observing different phenomena. So as a result of the observation, what has happened to the phenomena?
There was no change in the texture of the path or anything, Bhante, like to initiate such a movement as such.
Yeah. No. It is not that you are doing it purposely.
I'm not entirely sure. Like this would like come and go. Like it was not like continuously that sensation wasn't there. But it's like the foot is kind of taking the steps on its own. Like with a, I'm not sure how if I'm verbalizing it right. Automatically in the sense like a sort of a push being propelled forward. Yeah.
Are you losing the balance at that point?
No. I'm conscious and I'm very much aware.
Right.
But it was on and off, Bhante, not continuously.
Right. Can you explain about the sitting?
This one,
sure.
I read?
Yeah.
Sitting meditation, early morning session, the mind calmed down instantly. The breath thinned out and was settled. I felt as if there was a point of concentration at the tip of my nose or slightly away from it. I felt as if there was the mind, the owner of the mind, and another me who was observing the two. The observer, i.e. me, felt like a third person rather than my own self.
That should be okay. Now basically, so kind of a process is going on and you can't recognize you can't find you, but observation is there. So that's all right. That can happen definitely, because you couldn't make a self during that time. So when the proper observation is happening during that period, you are not making an I. You are not creating an I. There is no self-view immediately popping up because you are thoroughly in a process. Investigation is there. So you might feel the absence of I, definitely. That should be all right. And if it is happening that way, allow it to happen. Because that indicates now slowly you are stepping into the area. So instead of the ignorance, now some amount of wisdom is developed. And the mind is recognizing it, and now there is no opportunity for I-making and mind-making. Now you all know that it is not an existing I we are talking. So at different instances, we create the I. At different instances. Say for example, within an hour, say we create I 60 times. That means within a minute we are creating I, right? Say after a while, assume we are creating I 50 times within an hour. After some time, we are creating I 30 times. After another time, within an hour, we create only 10 times. So what do you think? So now we start feeling, okay, where has happened? What has happened to me? Because you feel kind of a difference now, because I-making didn't happen for a long time now. So within an hour, only 10 times I-making has happened. Now say a scenario that within an hour, no I-making has happened. So what happened to you? So you feel lost, like, oh my goodness, what has happened to me? So now you have the question, okay, something is going on. You touch your body and see whether am I all right? Because you feel like lost. It can happen. So you immediately open your eyes and see whether I'm all right. Everything is visible. Everything is contactable. Quite okay. I mean, that means the practice is happening properly, but our rational mind, illusionary or delusionary mind, is making problems that we don't need to worry much.
One thing about walking meditation, like usually earlier, like walking meditation was not so. I wasn't very good at it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Now today I noticed, like in the first half that was mentioned, like I noticed like earlier the sensations of the foot I was noticing,
right.
And then at one point, like spontaneously I noticed the sensations and the proprioception up until the knee joint.
Correct.
But
that should
then,
be okay.
But shouldn't I just stick to the foot to refine like that?
No need, because if it is naturally evolving and you are able to expand your attention till your knee, that's okay. Because at the beginning we sometimes purposely pay attention to the foot, true, or to the sole. But later, as a result of the practice, now naturally the other sensations throughout the leg is being aware, so we don't need to stop it. That's quite okay. Let those also happen, and you do the investigation anyway. If some prominent sensations are there, you can do the investigation. You can select whatever available. There is no rule that you only select the sensations available at the foot, never onto the knee. There is no such rule. But depending on the intensity, you can select whatever you prefer. Say the sensation at your foot is more prominent, select that, you can continue. But once a while, if you want to observe something else, you can do that. No harm. Because all are giving the same result. All are telling us the same teaching. Right.
Question number 4. Sometimes I am thinking too much about how other people think about me. Sometimes Subha Sahagata Hangim and sometimes Asubha Sahagata Hangim. How can I avoid this? Please advise.
This is a very known fact. Now, once the major type of defilements or major types of thinking, thoughts, vitakka are abandoned, this is another secondary kind of a vitakka you may encounter. what we call as the anavanyatti patisangyutta vitakka. So how the others are thinking about me? Are they knowing me properly? Are they thinking bad about me? Or have they properly understood me? So do they have the proper understanding about me? Have they misunderstood me? So all are subtle defilements. All are defilements, by the way. Sukkuma vitakka. Few categories actually Buddha mentioned. Janapada vitakka, jnati vitakka, labha sakkara vitakka, anavanyati patisangyutta vitakka, amara vitakka. Many things are there. Say you are thinking too much about your health. You are thinking too much about your parents, your children. You want to teach them all that. And then the one that we have discussed just now, how the others are thinking about me. That's another type. And then paranuddayata vitakka. So you are thinking too much about the others, how to help the others, how to write a book and help and distribute the Dhamma, all that. All appear like correct, right? And maybe you are thinking about the Janapada, about the country, about your area, how to develop it, how to have another refinery and develop the country. You know Janapada vitakka. So all that appear like pretty good. All it's not a kama, it's not a raga, it is not a dosa, but it is a moha, by the way. So all have to be abandoned. Just wash it away, keep it to the minimum. So I mean, how to overcome it? Pay attention to the body. So same criteria you have to use. So pay more attention to the body, whatever the sensations happening in the body, give prominence to that. Then slowly these subtle vitakkas will be abandoned. You may come to a more inner silence. Any question?
Question number 5. How to reduce the greediness towards food? ඇතිවන ලෝභ සිතුවිල්ල මගහරවා ගත යුත්තේ කෙසේද? Sometimes like to taste different varieties of food in order to taste it.
Good. So actually, I can remember Venerable Achancha gave a very beautiful way of abandoning it. If a particular food is something that you prefer every day, that is the first choice, you take that, eat every day. Morning also you should eat, afternoon also you should eat, at night also you should eat. Do it for 1 month and see. A very nice way to abandon the whole thing. Now later you will hate it. Now you can't enjoy as before because you start hating it. Because when things are not abundant and it's rarely available, your mind asks too much about it. But when it is readily available every day, you don't care about it. So therefore, many techniques are there, maybe. So one technique is you are punishing you are not going to eat it. So that is a little bit of torture, a little bit of self-mortification kind of a technique. But I prefer Achancha's technique. So every day the best, not the best, but whatever you the most preferred. But you should eat in the morning, afternoon, night. Morning, afternoon, night. Morning, afternoon, night. 1 week, 2 weeks, try and see. You can't eat. You lose the appetite. So that is the nature. So when it is not available, you are so anxious. Oh, where is it? Isn't it available today? Because it's not available. Not actually the taste really matters, but our this attitude actually. So we want it. Beautifully, Buddha mentioned that the nate kama yani chitrani loke sankappa rago purisassa kamo. So beautiful things available in the world is not the problem. The problem is how you are proliferating about it, how you are thinking about it. So when a lustful thought is there, it is not exactly the object being lustful, but you create a kind of a lustful motivation, proliferation, construction. You prepare your mind. Okay, this is it. That's an illusory kind of a preparation that we do in the mind. Not the real contact producing huge kind of a satisfaction. Rather, before that, we do a lot of kind of inner proliferation, inner preparations. So that makes the whole thing very difficult. But more we understand that and more we abandon it, then slowly we can abandon fair amount of lust, fair amount of greed. So now probably you can see, before you being greedy onto a particular thing, are you imagining about it? Say you are expecting some fruit, we'll say a kind of a fruit, some rare fruit, can you tell? Peach, okay. Today we had, right, peach. And then so assume that you are, before the lunch is available, while you are in the sitting session, are you getting the pictures of peach to your mind? Then of course you have some kind of a greediness, so you are imagining about it. Oh, beautiful, they are going to offer peach. Oh, beautiful, I'm going to taste it like this. Now that is how we imagine. That part we have to cut off. That the other greediness is really prominent rather than during the eating time. Eating also you can grab someone else's part also. But before that, many preparations are happening in the mind. If you are able to notice that, there we can restrain. There we can teach the mind, okay, you fellow, be calm, don't go to that, calm down yourself, pay attention to the body. So likewise, there is a kind of a restraint, there is a kind of a teaching we can do there.
Last question, Bhante. මනසේ මායාව නැතිද ඇති සැටියට පෙන්වීම. In order to get temporary and minor happiness, we have to suffer a lot. But first, mind shows like a thing which will give us happiness, that is lasting forever. But still keep on deceiving to the materialistic world. How to get rid of this manase māyāva?
We just discussed the same thing. So the mind, particularly the consciousness, is preparing all these illusory kind of visions, telling us, okay, that is the best thing, that is the fantastic kind of experience. Okay, you go for that. So that's a kind of a bait by the Mara. You know the bait. So Mara is putting a bait. So we are so happy to have it, to experiencing, and we are going after it. But ultimately we suffer. What we want, what we imagine, what we thought about is not what is available ultimately. Once we are really into the experience, it is not what we have imagined. So what we have gone through is mere imagination, mere creation of the mind. But once we realistically go there and touch and contact and all that, nothing is there. Isn't it? So, I mean, this is a known fact. So, the Mara is putting a kind of a bait. For us, we being fools, we simply think it will give us satisfaction, as you correctly mentioned. It gives us satisfaction. But it is not the fact, it is not the truth. Once we go for that, you might even suffer. What you imagine, what you thought is not really there. So the problem lies in this imagination. Problem lies in this mental, say, formations, this kind of preparations. Internally we do, even before we have the experience. So, nate kāmāyāni citrāni loke saṅkappārāgo purisasakāmo tiṭṭhanti citrāni tatheva loke atetta dhīrā vinayanti chandam. So therefore Buddha say, so whatever these beautiful things available in the outside, so they are not the problem. The problem lies in the mind, where you do all these preparations, saṅkappārāga, prolific type of lust is there. So you prepare the lustful thoughts, the fantasies in a way. We prepare those fantasies. And so ultimately when the solution happens, say you are able to abandon these fantasies, illusions, preparations, proliferations, overthinking, all that, now the mind has calmed down. So what has happened to those objects outside? They are there. They are still there. Tittanti chitrani tatheva loke. So the whatever beautiful, they remain as it is. But the wise person, he restrains his mind. Atetta dhira vinayanti chandam. So the dhiras, the wise people, so they restrain their mind, they restrain their defilements, they abandon their defilements, while the beautiful things in the world still remaining. Hope you got the point. So therefore we can't ask all women to wear the, fully covered clothes. So that's not going to be the proper solution. You better restrain the mind rather than asking all women to behave in a particular way. But certain countries are doing that also, right? Say for example in Afghanistan, so now they have to wear the burqa and all that, and so much of restrictions are there to women. Why? If they are making it open, then the guys may have lustful thoughts, maybe, who knows? So they have to cover the whole thing. But Buddha hasn't gone to that. He simply say, okay, this is the fact, but anyway, people better wear proper clothing. But the real solution lies in the mind. So you have to properly behave the mind, properly abandon the defilements, then you'll be all right. Okay, we have spent almost 1 hour. Anything else you have to share, or we'll wind up? Okay, no more questions. Then we'll wind up the session, and as usual, we'll have the Dhamma sermon at 4 p.m. Thero Vanaya.